Do you have what it takes to succeed as a consultant? In this video, I'm going to give you an overview what from my perspective the key skills are that you will need to succeed in the role in a large consulting firm like McKinsey, BCG or Bain. So welcome to another coffee break here on my channel Firm Learning. My name is Heinrich, I'm a former McKinsey consultant, and on my channel I want to help you to become successful in the first years of your career. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I will now share with you the top 5 skills that from my experience you need to succeed as a consultant. And I will also share with you for each of these skills one tip, what you can do to become more successful, more developed in this area. The first skill I want to talk about is business acumen. And maybe you might already wonder whether this is actually your skill or whether this isn't something that people naturally have or don't have. I strongly believe that business acumen is learned and can be developed. But first, let's better understand what business acumen actually is, and for this I will reference the definition on Wikipedia. Business acumen, or also business savvy or business sense, is keenness and quickness in understanding and dealing with a business situation in a manner that is likely to lead to a good outcome. So it is a bit of a soft term indeed. In my perspective, it is the implicit knowledge, the implicit understanding of business situations. It is a bit of an intuition that you will form over time what the right decision is for a business, or maybe also what just does not make sense to follow at all. And in my experience, an absolutely necessary condition to build business acumen is an understanding of fundamental technical topics in business. And this will be especially things like accounting and finance. I would argue that most people that have a solid understanding on accounting and finance will be able to build this business acumen quite quickly. Though if people do not understand these concepts at all, they will really struggle to do so. But why is business acumen even needed in consulting? Well, of course, you will facing senior leaders of the client organization. These people are experienced business professionals, and trust me that most of these people surely will have good business acumen. And of course, if these people pay significant per diem, significant fees for consultants, they assume that they can talk to these people at eye level, that these people have this good business sense as well. If you lack this, you will completely undermine your authority. The client will not take you seriously, and due to that, you will also fail as a consultant. But now, how can you improve your business acumen? What can you do about it? And of course, best way to do that is certainly a business education. Nowadays, there are lots of online courses. For instance, there are mini MBA courses available on online learning platforms like Udemy, where for a couple of bucks you can get access to a solid foundational course covering these topics. The next ability I want to talk to is the ability to interact and influence people. Very frequently, especially in consulting, you will be faced with a situation where you want other people to do something even though you do not have direct authority over these people. Indeed, often in consulting you work together in client teams where you will be made responsible for the results that this team is producing. Though of course, as an external person, as an external service provider, you cannot order these people to do anything. Indeed, you need to convince them, you need to influence them, you need to persuade them that the things that you believe are the right things, that these are the things that these people want to follow indeed. This challenge is also called leading without authority. It is quite well studied, there are lots of thoughts and ideas around it, how you can make this work. The great thing about this is that research on this topic agrees that influence can be learned. It is a skill that you can develop over time. To get you started on this topic, in my video description you find a list of book recommendations, and there are some books that especially focus on this issue. The first book I would recommend you to get started is Influence from Robert Cialdini. Cialdini is probably the most renowned researcher on the topic of influence. In his book, he explains what the most important tactics are to influence people with lots of very practical examples and insights. The next skill that you need to have to become successful as a consultant is quantitative and analytical skills. Surely, especially in the first years of your career as a consultant, you will work with data a lot, you will crunch numbers in Excel and other programs, and a good, solid quantitative understanding is definitely important. The tool that you will use most frequently to crunch the numbers is Excel indeed, and I definitely think it would be very much worth your time to improve your Excel skills as much as possible, because strong Excel skills alone can carry you in your first years in consulting. That can really make a difference to your team and therefore also for your career. If you do want to improve your Excel skills, I have a whole playlist on my channel with videos showing you some skills that are relevant for working in consulting. I will link this playlist somewhere above here, so check that out to improve your Excel game. The next important area of skills that you need to build are communication skills. Of course, communication is extremely important as a consultant, and it surely is also heavily interlinked with what we talked about influence a couple of minutes ago. As a consultant, you're frequently in a position to lead client meetings, to sit together also with senior people in the client organization, talk to them, convince them of your ideas, and communication skills are surely extremely important for that. Though in consulting, another area where your communication skills will be heavily assessed is how good you are with PowerPoint, how good you are with creating slide presentations, slide documents. It is not only a cliche that as a consultant you will produce lots of slides. For many types of projects, a slide deck is one of the key deliverables that you will leave the client with after you leave, so ensuring that this slide deck communicates well and delivers all the key messages in a great way is surely very important. And if you would like to improve your skills here, I once created an end-to-end course where I teach you all the skills that you need to create slide presentations to the level of leading consulting firms like BCG or Bain. I will include a link to that course below in the video description, so if you're serious about improving your slide writing skills, I would recommend you to check that out. Last but not least is resilience. I do think that it is extremely important that you develop some resilience techniques for yourself, because otherwise the stress and the pressure that you will certainly face on many of these consulting projects will be very difficult for you to handle if you do not have good resilience techniques in place. Resilience is a thing that probably comes easier to some people than to others, though here I also believe that definitely there are great ways to improve this and to work with this. In the end, resilience is a lot about self-reflection, about personal development and setting the right boundaries when necessary. It is just the truth that on many consulting projects you will be faced with a significant workload and then also additional pressure imposed on you by clients and sometimes even also your team. Being successful in consulting is a marathon, it is not a sprint, so you need to make sure that you do not burn out and have a plan, have techniques in place that will carry you through it in the long term. I once created a video where I talked about techniques that I use to cope with stress and anxiety in my consulting job. I will link it somewhere above here. I hope that there are some thoughts and reflections in it that are helpful to you as well. So let me summarize the 5 skills: business acumen, influence, analytical abilities, communication and resilience. These are definitely important for you to become successful as a consultant. And now I would love, of course, to hear also from you. What are the skills that you felt were most crucial while you worked as a consultant? I will do my best to answer every single comment that you write. Would love to get your input on this as well. As always, if you took any value out of this video at all, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and also subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on all my content. I'm also active on other platforms such as Instagram, Twitch and TikTok. You find links to these platforms below in the video description, and indeed I also have an email newsletter. I now want to say thank you to all the members of From Learning. Thanks so much for your contribution. You're really making a difference to this channel. If you are considering to become a member as well, hit the join button next to the subscribe button to learn more about this. My name is Heinrich. I'm the creator of From Learning and I release weekly videos every single Saturday. So see you again next week. Until then, good weekend to all of you. Bye bye.